Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. So today I am Muhammad Nabilsyafiq bin Muhammad Hamzah, UK24875. Will be graduating from University Malaysia Terengganu in the year 2014 with a bachelor's degree in fisheries, Bachelor of Applied Sciences, Fisheries. So I started my studying here in my first semester with a GPA of 3.65, and in my second semester I obtained a GPA of 3.71, which put my CGPA up to 3.69. When I was in second year, the tasks started getting harder and harder, so my pointers fell a little bit, and until now I'm in my fifth semester. My CGPA is 3.45. I studied a lot of courses in this course, a lot of subjects in this course. For example, I studied fishery science, which focuses on identifying and classification of fish. For example, you can call mackerel. The scientific name is Rastrelga canagurta, and it is a schooling fish. It is common in seas with depths around 100 meters. Besides that, we studied population dynamics, where we must calculate, or we are taught to calculate the density or the growth of fish in an area by capturing a few samples. So this subject has taught me a lot in fish actually, and indirectly it has taught me on how to manage fish, on how to manage the natural resources around us. So with that, with these subjects, I was able to learn more and more about fisheries development and management itself. Moreover, with these courses, I was able to clarify everything, to clarify the things that I've known from a child but didn't know why it happened like that. For example, why is the fish's body on its top it's darker, and under the body the color is lighter? Why? Because predators from above, if predators look on the fish from above, they can only see the same color as the bottom of the sea. If the predators look to the fish from below, they can see that the sky is the same color as the bottom or the body of their prey. Before I went to University Malaysia Terengganu, I had done my foundation in University Malaya, in Pusat Asasi Sains University Malaya, for 1 year in the year 2010 until 2011 for 2 semesters. So there, I took life sciences, the life sciences course, to prepare me in the biological field. So before I was in Pasum, I was in a boarding school where we were not allowed to go out of the school. If we were allowed, we were only allowed to go for about 1 day per month. So when I was in Pusat Asasi Sains, we had a total freedom on how to manage our time, on how to create our own lifestyle there. So when I was there, the situation there prepared me on how to behave in a university, because for the first time in my life in Pasum, in University Malaya, there was nobody to tell me what to do. There was nobody to order me what to do. So when I was there, I was able to find myself. I was able to create studying habits that's beneficial to me, that is exclusive to me, and I know that will work from time to time. For example, on time management, because you see, in University Malaya, we were given a lot of tasks to do in a very short time. So what I did was, I would take time off from studying from 5 until 7, where I would go play or go out with my friends. And after Isha prayer, at 9 o'clock, I would start studying until 10 or 12. So this regimen, although some say that it's quite boring, but I found out that with this kind of time management, I was able to enjoy both worlds. I was able to enjoy the life of being a student, and I was able to get good grades when I was in University Malaya. For my work experience, actually before I started studying in University Malaysia Terengganu, I've been working with a friend of my dad who has his own company which specializes in actually he has two companies. One that specializes in providing foreign workers to companies, to factories, and the other one is that he has a shop that sells second-hand items. So when I was working with him, I was given exposure to both of the businesses. For example, when I was working there before I entered EMT, in the month of July, August and September of 2010, I was able to go into both areas. For example, in the foreign worker section, I was given the task of managing the system for foreign workers registration. If you notice that in the year of 2011, there was a program done by the immigration department called 6P, which in Bahasa Melayu stands for Pemutihan Warga Asing, or in English it stands for the legalization of illegal workers. So my boss was awarded this contract, and I was able to work for him, and I worked in the IT department. I manage all the systems requirement, for example, the preparation of laptops and how to create or how to use the system itself to register the foreign workers, from the fingerprinting, the entering of the data, to the storage in the immigration server. So for 2 months, I worked as an IT technician, and at the same time, when I was free, I was tasked to take care of the shop which sells second-hand things. So when I was in this shop, I was able to learn many things. For example, communication skills, managerial skills, and especially interpersonal skills. Because you see, when I worked in a retail department, I had to communicate with people. I had to convince them why they should buy this thing, and why do they need these things, these items. What does it do? What's the problem with this item? Everything I do, I must relate to the customer and his needs, because as we learned in the previous English course, which is public speaking, we know that it's been scientifically proven that everyone is egocentric, in which everyone thinks about themselves. So when I promoted items, even though I haven't studied the course yet, I know these things by looking at people. So I can sell more things, or I can promote more things by focusing the things on them, describing the things on how it affect the buyer's life or the buyer's space. So with that in mind, I was able to sell a lot of things. For example, especially laptops, because I have more interest in laptops than in other things such as cutlery and such. So even though I am in UMT right now, when I have free time, for example, if I have breaks for 1 month or 3 months, semester breaks, I would go down to my father's friend and work for him. And recently, I just helped him to open a new shop in the Seremban area, and it's going well, Alhamdulillah. And this actually, the working with my boss has taught me a lot of things. For example, it's taught me on how to innovate myself and how to solve problems that's given by the bosses itself, by the boss. Because in a work environment, you are required to do what your boss says. If he says he wants it to be done like this, then find a way to do it like that. If you can't, find another way. That's the only mentality that I have set in my mind in order to fulfill the orders, my boss's orders. With that, thank you.